Hello and welcome to my Gameweek 31 Premier League predictions. I know this is a bit late. I did give you my United Bournemouth score prediction in yesterday's Championship predictions video. I said 2-1 United. I was completely wrong on that one. Bournemouth fought back and Harry Maguire got sent off. We've got half 12 game today between Brighton and Liverpool. I'll also give you my prediction for the League Cup final between Arsenal and Manchester City tomorrow. So don't forget to stay tuned for that at the end. And let's just jump straight to my Game Week 31 Premier League predictions. Jumping straight into the 12:30 kickoff later on today, of course, 12:30, Brighton versus Liverpool. I am at the Amex. Liverpool, big win over Galatasaray in the week in the Champions League. Brighton did beat Sunderland last time out. Good win for them in that one. Head-to-heads look like this. Good 3-0 home win for Liverpool over Brighton in the FA Cup on the 14th of February earlier this season at Anfield. Leicester did play at Liverpool in the Premier League was a 2-0 home win in December, 3-2 home win for Brighton on the 19th of May last season. 4 wins for Brighton, 4 draws, 14 wins for Liverpool. Brighton have won 3 of the last 4 matches after just 1 win in 13 from December. Unbeaten in their last 3 home league meetings with Liverpool. Won 2 of their last 3 home league games against Liverpool. Liverpool lost 30% of their Premier League matches this season. Their worst rate since 2014-15 season was just 6 of 15 away matches in the league with a negative goal difference on the road, which isn't good at all. Salah misses out through injury after coming off against Galatasaray. Szoboszlai scored 4 direct free kicks this season, a Liverpool Premier League record. I'll go back a 2-2 draw here. I think Liverpool do struggle quite, just in general, when they go to the Amex, and that is why I'm backing a draw in this one between Brighton and Liverpool, 2-2. Into the 3 o'clocker we have, and that is Fulham taking on Burnley then at Craven Cottage. Fulham drawing away last time out at Forest, both 0-0 draws for both these series as Burnley picked up a 0-0 draw at home to Bournemouth. 11th versus 19th in the table as things stand. Fulham do seem to struggle against newly promoted sides. They struggled against Southampton and Ipswich last season, I think, at home, or Leicester. I'm not sure. Do correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I don't think they played their best football. They haven't scored in the last 3 matches. Fulham, Harry Wilson needs 1 goal to become the only second Brit to hit double figures in a Fulham season. I know he's Welsh, but that counts as Britain, of course. Burnley just won 1 of their last 21 Premier League games. Kyle Walker has a 90% win rate at Fulham. That's obvious because Manchester City. Burnley won the last 2 visits to Craven Cottage by the same scoreline of a 2-0 scoreline. Can they do it again? 9 points adrift to safety with 8 points. 8 games to go, sorry. Last Sunday play in the Premier League was a 3-2 away win for Fulham at Turf Moor. Last Sunday play at Burnley, as we said, was a 2-0 away win at the Cottage. 2 wins for Fulham, 2 draws, 6 wins for Burnley. I'm going to back a draw in this one due to Fulham's poor Fulham's poor form just in general at the moment. I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between these two. Don't see a lot separating them, and that's why I back it at a 1-1 draw between Fulham and Burnley. Into the 5:30 kickoff we go then. Everton take on Chelsea at the Hill Dickinson, of course. Everton last week losing away at Arsenal. Chelsea 3 losses on the trot for them. 2 of those were against PSG, mind you. Back-to-back wins for Everton before that over Newcastle and Burnley. A couple of good wins in there for David Moyes' side. Chelsea did beat Everton earlier in the season by 2 goals to 0. Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto on the score sheet that day. Last Sunday play at Everton was a 0-0 draw. Everton do have a pretty good home record against Chelsea, and Liam Rossini probably will be properly under pressure if they did go and lose this away at Everton. 10 wins for Everton, 9 draws, 17 wins for Chelsea on the head-to-head. Difficult one to call because Everton are quite good against Chelsea at their place, but then we're at the Hill Dickinson now. Things might have changed. Keenan Dewsbury has 9 goal involved since joining Chelsea from last summer, of course, going against his former side. Chelsea ranks 2nd away from home in the Premier League this season. João Pedro has scored 11 goals away from the season. Chelsea's best since Tammy Abraham way back when in 2020. Cole Palmer has just 9 Premier League goals, over half of those were for the penalty spot. I'm actually going to back Everton to win this. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Everton win. I just think Chelsea really finding problems at the moment. I think Everton are going to exploit that. They're looking good under David Moyes, and that is why. And maybe they could push towards Europe. 3-1 to Everton over Chelsea may be a massive surprise for you, but yeah, I just see this happening. Leeds versus Brentford is the 8 p.m. kickoff in the Premier League at Ellen Road. Then decent point for Leeds last time out away at Crystal Palace, of course, on the road at Selhurst Park. Brentford drawing at home to Wolves. Bit disappointing for them. They would have looked to win that one. You would feel 7th sit Brentford, 15th sit Leeds. Leeds winners in their last 5 Premier League games, failing to score in the last 3. They're unbeaten in 7 home league games against Brentford since 2015. Igor Thiago's 19 Premier League goals this season, approaching the Brazilian record in the Premier League, so that is looking pretty good for him. Brentford dropped more points from winning positions than any other Premier League side over the last 3 seasons, with 69. Conceded just 7 set-piece goals this season, the 3rd fewest in the division. Igor Thiago's 19 Premier League goals. It could become the 3rd B to hit 20 in a season. I think Ivan Toney was the only other one to do that. 1-1 draw between the sides. Last time to play in December 2025 at the G-Tech. Last time to play at Ellen Road was in January 2023. Was a 0-0 draw. 4 wins for Leeds, 7 draws, 6 wins for Brentford. I'm going to sit on the fence here. I'm going to back a 1-1 draw between Leeds and Brentford. Don't see a lot separating them. And yeah, I think Leeds Ellen Road be right up for this, but I think Brentford will just have enough quality to grab a draw out of this one. 1-1. Into Sunday's games we go, and we start with the time where Derby as Newcastle take on Sunderland. We've got a cracking day of football on Sunday afternoon. We've got Spurs, Forest, Newcastle, Sunderland and the Carabao Cup final, of course, so it's literally going to be a whole day of watching football on Sunday, I think. Newcastle did get absolutely smacked by Barcelona 7-2. Yeah, not a great result for them in that one. They'll be looking to bounce back against their local rival Sunderland here at St James's Park. Anthony Taylor's the referee, so the game's going to be wrecked. 9th sit Newcastle, 13th sit Sunderland. Only 2 points separate the sides. It's just really close in the mid-pack in the Premier League at the moment. Newcastle haven't been particularly good. It's just the Champions League effect, I feel, but they don't have Champions League now, so let's see if they can finish the season strongly. They've dropped 19 points from winning positions this season, 2nd most in the league, Newcastle United. Get their first clean sheet in months with last week's 1-0 win at Chelsea. Nick Pope ranks 3rd in the Premier League for saves per match this season. Sunderland won 60 points from losing positions this season, only 2nd to Aston Villa. A win would see Sunderland leapfrog Newcastle in the table, and they would get more bragging rights after the win in December, of course, for Sunderland. They did play at Newcastle last time around, was all the way back in 2016. 3 wins for the Geordies, 4 draws, 7 wins for Sunderland. Sunderland do usually get the upper head in this one. The upper results, I should say, over their local rivals. I'm going to back Newcastle, though, to win this. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Newcastle. I think the fans will be right up for this. They need a win over their local rivals as well. I know they've got one in the FA Cup a few years ago, but that doesn't really count. They haven't won in the league since way back, since 2011, so they're going to be looking for a win. Yeah, Newcastle 2-0. They're going to beat Sunderland here. Villa versus West Ham then is next. Villa are beaten in 7 straight league meetings with West Ham, but just won 1 of their last 4 home games. And Emery, are they focusing too much on the Europa League? They take on Nuno's West Ham, who have actually only lost 1 in their last 5, and that was away at Anfield. But they have only won 1 in their last 5, and that was away at Fulham. Can West Ham stay up? I think they might. Nuno's got a bit of resurgence out of them lately. 4th sit Villa at the moment, still clinging on to those Champions League places. Lost 2 of their last 3 home games, including a 4-1 home defeat to Chelsea, which was a big problem. Lost 3 consecutive Premier League games for the first time since April 2022. Just shows how good Villa have been recently in the last few years. Morgan Rogers' 8 Premier League goals have either opened the scoring or drawn Villa level. We'll have to see and wait and see if that happens tomorrow. Jarrod Bowen's 7 goal involvements in his last 8 Premier League games. He's getting back to his best, and West Ham seems to be getting back to their best. They did hold Manchester City with the 1 shot. Getting Football Manager didn't Manchester City last time out. Villa did win this game earlier in the season by 3 goals to 2 scoreline on the 14th of December. Last time to play at Villa was a 1-1 draw. 8 wins for Villa, 8 draws, 9 wins for the Hammers. I'm going to back Villa to get back to winning ways. Surely they do it this time, but I think it'll be tight. I think this will be a 2-1 home Aston Villa win over West Ham United here. I think it'll be tight at Villa Park, but I think Villa will just get over the line in this one and beat West Ham by 2 goals to 1. And the final game in the Premier League before we jump into my Carabao Cup final prediction, and it is Tottenham taking on Nottingham Forest. Forest won the previous 3 matches with Tottenham, both at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and at the City Ground. This is pretty much a relegation battle. Spurs, both these sides won in Europe. Spurs beating Atletico Madrid, failing to get through, of course, though, and Forest getting through on penalties against Midtjylland as well, the Danish team. 16th versus 17th. Spurs are winless in 12 Premier League games, their longest run since 1935. Spurs are the only Premier League team without a win in 2026 still, or they won in the Champions League, so that's wrong. But they have won a game. They haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 9. They're 1 point above the relegation zone. Forest scored 21 goals in 12 Europa League games, but only 28 in 30 Premier League matches. Chris Wood hasn't played since October, scored 20 league goals last season, and they are definitely missing him. Forest have failed to score in 14 different Premier League games this season, and they would leapfrog Spurs. And if West Ham's got something at Villa as well, Spurs could be in the relegation zone by the end of Sunday. Forest 3-0 win over Spurs early in the season, back when Thomas Frank was in charge last time to play at Tottenham, was a 2-1 away win for Forest. 5 wins for Spurs, 0 draws, 4 wins for Forest. I don't know. I think I'm going to back a first draw between these sides. I don't see a lot separating them. 1-1. I think this would be cagey, it'd be tight, the atmosphere would be a bit content inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And yeah, I'm going to sit on the fence. 1-1 between these two. Into the Carabao Cup final we go then at Wembley, where Arsenal take on Man City. Are Arsenal going to bottle it on the Wembley stage, or are they going to finally thrive under the pressure and win a cup for once? They haven't lost in 14 matches. Arsenal, a bit of a problem. No, that's not a problem. That's very good. Of course, that's not a problem. It's a good win in the week over Leverkusen. City did lose at home to Real Madrid. Are they putting all eggs in one basket? Surely they wouldn't put all eggs in one basket for a win over Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final. Sure, you prioritise the Premier League. Pep did call Arsenal the best team in England and Europe ahead of this final. Max Darwin became the youngest scorer in Premier League history with that goal over Everton last week. We'll be interested to see if they do win this 137 of their 49 matches this season, only losing the 3 times. Gyökeres and Dama both scored in Arsenal's 2-0 win over Everton last week, I should say. Real Madrid eliminated City from the Champions League for the 4th time in 5 seasons. They play each other every year, pretty much. Pep called Arsenal the best team in England, so we've just spoke about. Drew 1-1 at West Ham, and 3 days after their 5-1 aggregate defeat to Manchester City. They still do have to play in April, of course. I think Arsenal might want to care about that one a little bit more, as that might be for the league title. We don't know how City are going to perform between now and then. 1-1 draw earlier in the season. I remember last minute Martinelli equaliser in that one. Arsenal did beat City 5-1 season before. It was a 2-2 draw at the Etihad. 11 wins for Arsenal, 10 draws, 21 wins for Manchester City. City usually do have the upper hand. I'm going to back City on penalties. I think this will be a 0-0 actually. I think Manchester City will get over the line on penalties due to Gianluigi Donnarumma, although it says Trafford's going to start here, so forget that. I still think City will win on penalties though and beat Arsenal here. Thank you for watching my Premier League Game Week 31 predictions and the Carabao Cup final prediction as well. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff, and I'll speak to you all on the next one. If I review on Monday, so don't forget to stay tuned for that, and I'll speak to you all on the next one.